Welcome back, Truth Seeker. I believe we're live. It's November 1st, 2018. We're already to the 11th month of the year. Want to go over some of the top headlines today. So we're going to talk about Donald Trump's racist ad, the Google employee walkout, which I find quite comical. This bizarre story from the police about a car hitting a group of children at a bus stop for the third time in 3 days. Of course, that comes from the police, the old 33 gang. Got a question here about what we expect from the Democrats on Election Day. Got some more racial programming. Number 42 of Rutgers, charged in a murder plot. We'll get to that. Review the death of Willie McCovey 42 weeks after his birthday. The old Jackie Robinson number. Also, the death of 3 NFL-related men, all at the age of 85, and all in the headlines on Halloween. What a coincidence. We'll get to that. And another story that just crossed my radar here before we jumped on air. Just did a quick decode on the Parker Solar Probe breaking a new record in space. We'll get to that as well. So let's go through it one by one, piece by piece. So it depends on what news station you're watching. You know, if you're on Fox News, they're not calling this ad racist. But again, the media is here to divide us. MSNBC, CNN, they're saying this is a very racist ad, the most racist ad in a political campaign since 1988 when George Herbert Walker Bush, who's on his last days right now, ran for president and used a divisive ad about Willie Horton, supposed murderer. So anyway, in light of the media saying this is the most racist ad since 1988, again, been documenting from 2015, the day Donald Trump announced he was running for president, up until the present, that 88 is the number that's always surrounding Donald Trump. Trump equals 88, the Republican Party 88. We've talked about a million different headlines that encoded 88 into Trump. You might recall September 6th, 2016, just before the election, Trump was endorsed by 88 generals. You know, we recently covered the death of his mother at age 88. Her name was Mary Ann McLeod Trump, dead at age 88. Her name 88. We talked about how Trump Tower, where Donald Trump announced he was running for president, the building that was there prior, it was demolished July 1st, 80. 7 plus 1 plus 80, 88. They cleared out that building to make way for Trump Tower. Don't forget, Trump Tower's 58 stories tall in light of Donald Trump winning the 58th U.S. presidential election, hiring the 58-year-old Steve Ray on Inauguration Day. So anyway, that's why they're saying the most racist ad since 88, but there's a whole lot more to this. Today, November 1st, is the day leaving 60 days left in the year, and his ad, what it does is it says this migrant caravan traveling up through Mexico right now, still 1,000 miles from the border, and consider these people are on foot. I mean, how long does it take to walk 1,000 miles? They're practically on the Oregon Trail. But anyway, today leaves 60 days left in the year. This racist ad is about the migrant caravan. He's saying that the caravan is full of terrorists and murderers. And if you read about the caravan, what it's actually supposed to be is people who are fleeing violence. So people trying to get away from terrorists and murderers. But understand, this is all divisive propaganda. It depends on what news source, what news outlet you watch for what perspective you're going to get. And that's how they keep us constantly divided, you know. Different perspectives, one agenda, divide and conquer. So anyway, this story about the ad that focuses on the caravan, it comes on the day leaving 60 days left in the year, Caravan 60. Okay, that's another point here. But there's more. Let me just read CNN's opening paragraphs. In the most racially charged national political ad in 30 years, President Donald Trump and the Republican Party accused Democrats of plotting to help people they depict as Central American invaders overrun the nation with cop killers. The new web video tweeted by the president 5 days before the midterm elections is the most extreme step yet in the most inflammatory closing argument of any campaign in recent memory. The Trump campaign ad, make this bigger here so everyone can see it. The Trump campaign ad is the latest example of the president's willingness to lie and fearmonger in order to tear at racial and societal divides, to embrace demagoguery to bolster his own political power and the cause of the Republican midterm campaign. The web video produced for the Trump campaign, features Luis Bracamontes, a Mexican man who had previously been deported but returned to the United States and was convicted in February in the slaying of two California deputies. I should have actually looked more at that story. At the end of this presentation, if you guys want, we can go back and look at this man and this story. That would have been a good thing to decode here, but I focused on the Willie Horton part because they're saying this is the most racist ad since George H.W. Bush's Willie Horton campaign video. So again, here it is right here. The ad recalls the notorious Willie Horton campaign ad financed by supporters of George H.W. Bush in 1988. So that's also in Trump's ad today, and we understand why. So let's look at Willie Horton. And let's remember that Donald Trump was announced as the president-elect at age 70. Along the campaign trail, one of the stories about Donald Trump was how at his all-white convention, there was one black protester there and he got beat up, and Donald Trump yelled out to the crowd that the guy deserved a beating. So, stories like that are meant to, inflame and divide the public. But anyway, Trump, who took office at age 70, notice this. Willie Horton equals 70. The name William Horton also equals 70. His birth name's William. Willie equals 70. Racist equals 70. And what are they saying? This is the most racist ad since 88. Now, what else I noticed about Willie Horton is that he's 67 years old. The word killer equals 67. This new ad's invoking that there's killers in the caravan. Killers like Willie Horton. Notice the name, William R. Horton. Notice this name that they have up there, William R. Horton. 187, like the homicide code. The guy's supposed to be a killer. 79 and 83, just like murder is 79 and 83 in our base ciphers. Just in case you're new here and you stumbled on this video, these four ciphers, these are the base ciphers of English gematria. You learn this code of letters and numbers, you'll see through all media propaganda because everything's contrived this way. The dark green cipher is the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5, all the way up to Z. The last letter is 26. The next cipher is the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. So you make each letter a single-digit number. So like, for example, Z, the 26th letter. In this cipher, it's the numerology of 26 for Z. 2 plus 6 is 8, so Z is 8. Y, the 25th letter, would be 2 plus 5 is 7. So on. Reverse ordinal is just flipping the alphabetic order around, making Z1 counting back to A is 26, and then the last cipher is that reverse order with numerology. 191 is the 43rd prime. Killing equals 43. We see 191 and 43 coded together a lot. With regards to 43, other things that sum to 43 that are important, Masonic is 43. Masonry is headquartered in D.C. D's the fourth letter, C's the third, 4-3. So anyway, notice how Willie and murder also line up. Willie's got overlap with murder in 2 of the 4 base ciphers, the reduction ciphers. The ad invoking Willie Horton, who happens to be 67 years old right now. And don't forget that 67 is the 19th prime number, because when this news about the caravan first broke, it was October 19th. And what is it about October 19th in light of news by the numbers? You know, the headline was, "Chaos erupts as caravan reaches Mexico border." So anyway, chaos. We always see chaos connected to the number 19. This news about the chaos from the caravan came on the 19th. That was also a date with 67 numerology, 10 plus 19 plus 20 plus 18. Now, days later, we're getting this story connected to Willie Horton, the 67-year-old killer in prison. If you go outside of the base ciphers, 2 interrelated ciphers, Chaldean and septenary, we talk about them sometimes. Wrote about them in my book in the 4th chapter where I talk about the ciphers outside of the base ciphers. These 2 are linked at the hip. Notice caravan in Mexico, also sum to 19 in those ciphers. So, Now we can understand why Willie Horton's being linked to this in light of how this story's been presented by the numbers. And obviously, this is nothing but more divisive rhetoric. Stuff to get people out to the polls. On the right, a big issue for them is, shutting down the borders, stopping the immigration. For years, right-wing radios wanted to build the wall that Donald Trump promised. When Donald Trump gave his victory speech, which wasn't the day that he won the election, it was April 26th, his wife Melania's birthday, he called it his victory speech. He made two guarantees that day. One was that he would beat Hillary Clinton. The other was that he would win the election. And that was 197 days from the election, which is the 45th prime. Of course, he became the 45th president-elect. The other thing here about connecting this story to George Herbert Walker Bush, number 41, he ran the ad about the killer. Now Donald Trump doing the similar thing. In light of HW being number 41, pay attention that killer's 41. HW was a member of Yale Skull and Bones. By the way, the 322nd day of the year is upcoming. Skull and Bones identifies by 322, November 18th. Will HW make it? Anyway, Killer 41, Skull and Bones 41, November 41. First day of November, this news. From Willie Horton's birthday, which again was August 12th, just make sure you saw that. August 12th, from his birthday to today is 81 days later, and we call this the ritual number. It happens again and again, these rituals. Go back and look at all the headlines from August 1st. Obama endorsed 81 candidates. Whole lot more. The whole Urban Meyer thing came that day. He'd coached 81 games with Ohio State, 81 birth numerology. It's all rituals throughout the media. Numerical rituals. If you count the full span of days, it's 82 days. It's 81 days after his birthday or his 82nd day of being 67 years old. And while they were running this story, they were showing that the Caravan is right here in this town, which has gematria of 82, still 1,000 miles from the most southern tip of the border. So, call it a coincidence, but I thought that was pretty interesting. In light of it all being contrived news by the numbers, hard to ignore. And I wonder if there's even really a giant caravan marching up towards the border right now. I've seen the movie Wag the Dog. I know how they treat us. Just contrive stuff to keep us constantly distracted and divided and clued into their themes, like the rigged election coming up. Just understand it doesn't matter who you vote for. They already determined who's going to win each race, each seat. It's a done deal. If you're not in gematria school, not this past Tuesday, but last Tuesday, we decoded a bunch of elections. You got to go back and watch that video. That's why you want to sign up for gematria school. Mind-blowing. We just showed how every election we looked at, you could see that all these people running are born for the throne. Anyhow, this one gave me a real laugh when I saw this morning. Google employees are walking out around the world. Supposedly they're protesting the lack of policies at Google to guard employees from sexual assault. And let me just tell you my personal experience on this one. Recently, I was driving in Seattle for Uber and Lyft. And Seattle's a big tech city. Most of the people you drive around, if you drive in Seattle for Uber and Lyft, you're transporting tech company employees. Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Facebook, etc. Uber and Lyft are pretty expensive. Most people who have the money to afford it, they work for these tech companies that pay high salaries. So anyway, literally like every time I got a tech employee in my car, I would ask them what they thought about the censorship, especially if I got employees that work for Google. I'd ask them what they thought about the censorship going on with the web. And overwhelmingly, they could care less, these people. They'd say things like, well, I mean, most of the things getting censored are, conspiracy theory and hate speech and stuff that's not really good anyway. And I'd say, well, who's to judge? And they'd say, well, society, I guess. All of these people, for the most part, were mainstream thinkers, and they didn't have any problem with the censorship. And understand, they're working for the companies that control information in the information age. And those of us who are awake realize it's not hate speech getting censored. It's not conspiracy theories. It's the most important content on the web today. Like my channel, which was deleted. My channel, which was deleted, is something that can never be restored. It had all sorts of incriminating evidence against the cabal. I had about 1,000 correct predictions on that channel, from news stories that would come, murders, rigged sports games, all the stuff that can be used to wake up the masses. And it was all deleted in an instant. I'm on, this is literally channel number 18 since June of 2017. I've had 17 channels deleted, thousands and thousands of videos, countless hours. On that main channel that got deleted in June of 2017, I had 3,000 videos? And there wasn't any hate speech? Uh-oh. This camera likes to freeze when I do these live streams, so there goes the camera. But, so anyway, just knowing what the Google employees are about and how they don't really care about what's going on in the world, you just know that this walkout's a joke. And then if you read the article, the CEO supported the walkout. So, why would a CEO support having all of their manpower that's paid very well walk out for the day to protest the company? It doesn't make sense. So, of course, you just take a look and you go, oh, here's what's really going on. So the CEO who supports this walkout, from his birthday to today's his 113th day of his age. And, of course, that's the big mainstream number. That's the big disinformation number. If you missed my presentation yesterday, we did the long list of 113, a number that comes from the Talmud. It's a number that has to do with lying. And the entire mainstream is nothing but lies and programming. And this whole thing about constant reinforcement of, all of these big bad men sexually assaulting women, this just fits into that narrative. And I'm not saying that there's not men in the world who don't sexually assault and mistreat women. Obviously that happens. But understand what's going on in the media right now, programming this talking point, that's not an accident. That's all part of the direction they're taking us. And to understand the purpose of this agenda very simply is, look, there's estrogen in the water. All the young boys in this nation are getting this type of media programming that emphasizes being more feminine. They want to feminize the world. They want a weak, soft populace. And I'm not saying that women are weak and soft, but when you feminize men, you make them weaker and softer. They want weak, soft, gullible people, spineless cowards, no backbone, no intelligence, and this is the direction of things. And what's sad about what I'm saying about these tech company employees is these are the smartest people pretty much in the world right now. These are the most educated people with the highest paying jobs, and they are totally clueless to the tyranny taking place. You know why that is? It's because they're indoctrinated. They've been working hard in school, studying their subjects, practicing computer programming and coding. They're focused on a goal of, what's mainstream, having a career, having a good salary, and they're sticking to that path, and they don't really care what's going on outside of that. They don't got time for conspiracy theory, as they say. So anyway, this whole walkout coming on the 113th day of his age. What else? Again, today leaves 60 days left in the year. Look at what his name equals in Gematria, 60. So this whole thing is centered around the CEO who's so supportive of the walkout. This follows an outcry of the New York Times investigation. The New York Times. What do we know about them? Who controls the New York Times? The same people that go by the Talmud. So there's that story. Now here's another one that just made me laugh, not because it's funny that children are being hit at bus stops, but because it's an obvious lie coming from the police. For third time in 3 days, a driver hits kids at a bus stop, this time in Tampa, police say. This is also subtle programming. Again, all media is programming. They're trying to get us to want to accept self-driven cars and more automated processes. It's not just cars. It's the replacement of humanity with robots and AI. All of these stories factor in. And anyway, third time in 3 days, we know that this is the big police number. Police 33, Masonry 33, Secrecy 33, Order 33. See it coded day after day. Police say 33, of course. Today's date also has 30 numerology, other police number in the base ciphers, and for another police trifecta, it's the day leaving 60 days left in the year. Again, in our 4 base ciphers, police sums to 33, 30, and 60 out of those 4 ciphers. So what a day for police news. And notice the 102. Remember, in the ordinal and reverse ordinal ciphers, there's the Sumerian cipher that goes with, where you multiply times 6. I bring that up because of this point right here. In the reporting, they have these 2 things. The students attended a combined elementary middle school about 16 or 17 blocks away. Why did they do that? What's 16 plus 17? 33, right? But then this next line, the driver remained at the scene, Police Chief Brian Dugan told the station. The children at the bus stop were between the ages of 6 and 12. And, again and again, we see the 612 thing in this police propaganda too, because that's the police number in the Sumerian cipher. 612. You guys, just why would they even write it like that? 16 or 17 blocks? This is how I figured out that the news was encoded in the first place before I knew gematria. I just saw how they'd report the same numbers over and over, and I'd say, okay. You see a number like 33, that's important to masonry. Then lo and behold, you learn gematria, and you go, oh, wow, masonry equals 33, like secrecy, okay. Almost every police station in this nation's right across the street from the Masonic Lodge. Okay. I see what's going on here. And then, you learn gematria. If you have a brain, you never see this stuff the same. You see right through it. It's no longer a mystery. It's clear. So, Julia asked, what's the prediction for the midterm elections? I suspect the Democrats will take the House but not the Senate. That's what I'm thinking. Just to make the narratives juicier, we'll probably see then some Democrats in the House trying to impeach Trump, but then it won't make it through the Senate. They just got to keep us divided and bickering and fighting back and forth. But notice, it's funny that I wrote 11-8 here. I was thinking of the last election. Even though I wrote 11-8, the math's still right. It's supposed to be a 6 up here. 11 plus 6 plus 20 plus 18 is 55. If we added plus 8, it would be 57. So I don't know why I wrote 8s. My mind must have been in a different place. But 11 plus 6 plus 20 plus 18 is 55. Democrats is 55. I think the Democrats take back the House. If they take back the Senate too, that'll be interesting. But I suspect they just get the House. And then we get to hear more from Nancy Pelosi, the world's least favorite person. I don't think there's even any Democrats that like Nancy Pelosi. Cruella de Vil there. So, here's some more racial shaming. A black guy, number 42, accused of a murder plot. This news came out yesterday on Halloween, right? The media is always reinforcing the stereotypes. Black men are dangerous, they're aggressive, they're killers. Let me see if CNN still has this up on their front page today. I almost put this in the news thing, but I was like, God, I didn't even want to show it. It is still here. Look at this black man beating on his chest. What's that make you think of? Vulgar UFC fighter couldn't care less what you think. This guy's name in the UFC is the Black Beast. Okay? Everywhere you look in the media, racial programming, stereotypes, it's every single day and often with the same number, old 42. 42, it's got a lot of negative meaning behind it in terms of how it's used to program the public and what it means in terms of numbers and letters. So, let's just go through this. He's 22 years old, right? Big football number, 22 men on the football field. His name is Bullock. His name is Isaiah Bullock. Bullock's got the 22. When you write out 22, it equals 42. And he's not much of a player because he hasn't played since September 22nd, the only game he ever appeared in. Look at this. From the day of September 22nd, the game he appeared in, to the day he was arrested. He was arrested October 30th. The news story came out the next day, October 31st. But from the game he played in to his arrest is 38 days later. And, the song Murder by Numbers, the movie poster Murder by Numbers, this number 38 coded everywhere. Murder equals 38. If you look up the movie poster for Murder by Numbers, out of the title, the E's changed to a 3 and the B's changed to an 8. 3 and 8. The song Murder by Numbers came out in the year 83, and murder also sums to 83 in the base ciphers. So anyway, he gets charged with this murder plot 38 days after the lone game he played in. You know what else there is about the date of the game he played in? September 22nd. 9 plus 22 is 31, right? Plus it was the 22nd. 9 plus 22 is 31. The life lesson number of that day is 42, because the way you get your life lesson number is you add the month plus the day, so 9 plus 22, and then you add the year 2018 in parts, 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8, which is 11 more. So 9 plus 22 is 31, plus 11 more is 42. So we get another 42 in the story. 42 only played on the 42 date. What do you know? And then he gets arrested for being in a murder plot 38 days later. Then the news story comes out on Halloween, October 31st, 2018, a date with 79 numerology. This is the day we all learn about the murder plot. See how this works? That's why you want to know your 4 base ciphers. You see through all of it. His name Bullock has gematria of 76. His name Isaiah Bullock also has the gematria of 76. I call that the symbol number. Again, the New World Order operates through symbolism. Numbers are symbols. That's why they put these numbers on top of these people as they code this propaganda all along the way. Bullock also has that 113 gematria, the number of deception. I'd like to know what's really going on here. And if you haven't read my book, it's linked in the description of every video. The 18th chapter is about the contrived race war through history. Beginning of that chapter, I talk about how the numbers 42 and 59 are stamped all over black history in a million different ways. February, the month that sums to 42, the month that ends on the 59th day of the year. Slavery equals 42, slave equals 59. The Civil War ended on May 9th. Tuskegee, the syphilis experiment with black men, 42. Martin, 42. Again, the sitcom, he lived in apartment number 42. Malcolm X, 42. Jackie, 42. Wore the number 42. Moses Walker equals 42, who again was actually the first black baseball player in white major league in the late 1800s, and he played in 42 games. The word bus is 42. Think about it. The word boy is 42. Think about it. The nickname Stretch is 42. That's Willie McCovey, who just died 42 weeks after his birthday on the same day as this news. After the Dodgers lost in the World Series, who had number 42, Jackie. And, of course, the N-word also sums to 42. And a whole lot more. Cosby Show, 42. Huxtable, 42. A whole lot more. So much more. In case you missed my video on Willie McCovey last night, just real quick, dead on Halloween, date with 79 numerology. His full name's Willie Lee McCovey, 79. He played for the San Francisco Giants, the only team with 114 gematria. He's dead right after the 114th World Series. He's dead 42 weeks after his birthday. His nickname was Stretch 42. The Dodgers went down, who had Jackie number 42. Again, at the beginning of this year on Jackie Robinson's birthday, we had 3 black deaths in the news on Jackie Robinson's birthday. They all died that day. All 3 of their names summed to 42. Rajuel Butler, Oscar Gamble, and Dawn Lemon's sister. By the way, the name Lemon alone equals 59, that 42-59 thing. She supposedly drowned in a pond 59. And the baseball player who died on his birthday, Oscar Gamble, he even died 42 days after his own birthday. How sick is that? It's not hard to see what's going on. Also yesterday, for Halloween, these were all stories in the headline yesterday on Halloween. 3 men related to the NFL, all dead at 85. How do you look at that and just go, coincidence? You can't when you know gematria. National Football League's 85. And in light of these headlines coming on Halloween, Trick or Treat is 85. This looks like a sick trick if you ask me. And I'm sure there's a whole lot more to this. I didn't even take the time to decode the names or the birthdays. I just said, wow, really? Today, 3 dead older men in connection to the NFL, all dead at 85 on Halloween, the Day of the Dead, as it's known in Latin cultures. The Day of the Dead. And then another story I didn't even catch until just today, but I guess this was big news on October 30th. NASA breaks world record of getting closest to the sun. I covered this Parker solar probe earlier this year when it launched. Go back and see that video. A lot of information there. But notice what day this news came. October 30th, 18, right? Date with 58 numerology. NASA established in 58. Science equals 58. Freemasonry, Rosicrucian, Secret Society 58. If you don't know, the Rosicrucian order gave birth to Freemasonry. King James was a Freemason and a Rosicrucian. The guy with the Bible named after him, he dropped dead at age 58. Not by coincidence. But if you're not aware, and you can look this up, it's a very easy fact to verify, NASA has always been controlled by Freemasonry. Always. That's why at the Freemason headquarters in Washington, D.C., they have a shrine at the House of the Temple paying tribute to this fact. All astronauts have been Freemasons. NASA has always been controlled by Freemasonry. Then again, so has this entire nation. You know, NASA is just an extension of the government. The federal headquarters in Washington, D.C., named after the Scottish Rite Freemason George Washington, who was a military general. NASA, part of the military. By the way, this record is for the probe becoming the closest object in space to the sun, which is our nearest star, star 58. So good day for the record, date with 58 numerology. And what I'm always showing is how NASA reports all of their accomplishments by this code. It just makes you wonder, is this stuff even really happening? So the news came October 30th, but the accomplishment came October 29th at 1:04 p.m. If you follow my work, you know about 1:04, the message confirmed number. But look at this. From the day that the probe launched, which was August 12th, covered this very thoroughly that day. From the day that it launched to the date of the record was 78 days later, right? The Scottish Rite of Freemasonry controls NASA. Again, they have the shrine in their headquarters paying tribute to this fact. Scottish Rite equals 78. So does October when it happened. And 10/29/18 was a date with 57 numerology. Scottish Rite equals 57 in the base ciphers as well as 78. And, 57 is a big number in regards to outer space, period. Outer space is 57. Conspiracy is 57. Moon is 57. So anyway, we get this date with the significant numbers to the Scottish Rite. We get the news on the Freemasonry date of the record. How do you deny it? Especially when we're here, year after year showing the same repetitive themes. Especially in light of the fact that I wrote a book where one of the chapters is dedicated to Freemasonry's control of NASA and how all of its accomplishments are by the code. In light of 78, the 78 coding, the reflection of 78 is 87. It's interesting to mention that the sun with the alphabetic order sums to 87. In light of the news coming on the 30th about the record, it's also interesting to mention that the sun equals 30. I guess real quick, we can just go back to the August 12th, 2018 launch and look at what was interesting about that. That was also a date with 58 numerology. The launch, I should mention, was at the 211th minute of the day when they sent it off. Mason equals 211. 211 is the 47th prime times 47. The Freemason logo has the compass set at 47 degrees. The name of the probe, Parker, has gematria of 69 and 93 like Saturn. See my work on NASA and Saturn. A lot of it's in the book. That book's out there waiting for you. Needs those sales so we can get a publisher to put it in print. But think about 93 as well in light of the sun. This thing was launched at the sun. They tell us the sun is 93 million miles away. Parker, again, 33, Masonry, Secrecy, Federal, Order. You know what else sums to 33 in that same cipher? October, when this accomplishment happened. The sun sums to 24 in this same cipher, like how there's 24 hours a day. When you take into account the rule for S, again, S is the 19th letter. The numerology of 19 is 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. S is the only letter you have to reduce 2 times to get to a single digit, so S can be 10 or 1. When you make S 10, the sun is also 33. August 12th, the day leaving 141 days left in the year. When you write out 33, it's 141. It was a date with 58 numerology, just like how the record news comes on a date with 58 numerology. Very repetitive here. Star is 58 with the alphabetic order. Stars are 58 when you flip the alphabetic order around. Isn't that neat? Zodiac 58, calendar 58, Gregorian 58. So that August 12th video is still up there. Notice how they emphasize touch the sun when they were talking about launching. That has the gematria of 143, like Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. See how nicely it all comes together? It's always the same thing, same repetitive stuff. July 29th, 1958, the date NASA was established, a date with 113 numerology, Scottish 113. This probe also launched from Cape Canaveral. I nearly forgot about that. We just talked about the significance of 78. The record came 78 days after the launch. Cape Canaveral 78, like Scottish Rite 78, like October 78. So Mason and NASA got overlap in 2 of the 4 base ciphers. Look at this thing right here. The Parker probe was named after a man who described solar wind in 1958. Isn't that great? For another 58. So for the rest of the information, I'll let you go back and watch the August 12th video. That concludes what I had ready to present for this broadcast. If there's other stuff out there circulating in the news you wanted me to cover, let me come say hello. Oh, there it is. I can see the chat from here. Very cool. I guess Marion made a nice observation. Let's check it out. Google walkouts and caravans are numeric rituals. Caravan 60. Google walkout 619. Numeric ritual 619. 619, the 114th prime. Psychological operation 114. Marion's always getting deep in her thinking with the decodes. What's up, Patrick? Was there any other stories that you guys wanted me to take apart here? I got to add some more moderators. Crystal Rain, she's going to try to help me take this research to the next level. She's got some great ideas, so looking forward to that. So Game with Mus says, if all this is BS about NASA, then how do you believe the Earth is round? So Game with Mus, I don't know how old you are, I don't know how logical of a thinker you are, but the Earth's been known to be a sphere since before 1958. So, you know, NASA's illegitimacy and deception doesn't make the Earth flat. You guys are saying the video's stopping. That's too bad. Philadelphia 76ers got new uniforms, tribute to Rocky and Creed. Barney says, hit the like, folks. Hit the like button. Does McCovey's death have anything to do with the 49ers versus Raiders game today? Well, I mean, consider that he's a Bay Area hero, and then you got the Battle of the Bay in Thursday Night Football. Here, I'll show you something interesting about the Battle of the Bay to start November. Look at this. November has this gematria of 122, right? So does San Francisco, who's hosting the game tonight. And if you look up the coordinates of Oakland and San Francisco, they're both on the 122nd meridian. So what a great day to have the Battle of the Bay, the first day of November. You know, perfect. So you guys said the video started to cut out when I started talking about NASA, huh? That's a bummer. I'm hoping when it uploads, it's all good. Crystal said it buffered a bit, but it's okay. I'll see what happens when it uploads. If a lot of what I presented cut out, I'll redo it. So I see a lot of you guys are saying that the stream cut out at that point. Okay, so it looks like it happened to everybody. Well, that is annoying. Do extraterrestrials exist? I don't know. I've never seen any extraterrestrials, but anything's possible. Will Colombia go it alone against Venezuela now that Brazil's new president may not go along? They're all New World Order puppets. All of South America is controlled by the same gang that controls it up here. So it's not like any of these presidents are going to make it. I mean, they're just puppets. I haven't done enough research on what's going on in South America, but I did show the latest installation of the latest puppet president down there, the guy that they're calling Mini Trump. What's up, everybody? War Mentality said he donated $30. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Welcome, Crystal. You deserve it. Do I think YouTube is taking away some people's views? Yeah, YouTube absolutely takes away views. They take away subscribers. They take away likes. They take away comments. They censor what they don't want out there. What's up, Ben? How's Ben not a moderator? Enjoy your wrench, buddy. Timberwolves just showed the purple Prince jersey, huh? He died on April 21st, which is the 111th day of the year in non-leap years. And what day are we on today? November 1st, 11/1. Minneapolis, Minnesota also equals 111. So no wonder they did it today. Minneapolis, Minnesota, 111. That was why the Buffalo Bills beat Minnesota in Minnesota. New York equals 111. That game was 111 days from the Bills coach's birthday, and I forget what else. Yeah, Adam lived 930 years. The first chapter of the Bible, or not the first chapter of the Bible, the first chapter of the Christian part of the Bible, the New Testament, is the 930th chapter of the Bible. And when you do the times 6 cipher, Christianity is 930. In 66 chapter Bibles, which are most, all but Catholic Bibles, the 930th chapter is where the Christian section begins. Christianity 930. And, think about the Son, how we use the word Son, Son of God. The word Son, S-O-N, has that gematria of 33. Big Bible number. Bible 33, Good Book 33, Sunday 33, Jehovah 33. Remember, when you write out the Son and you use the rule for S, the Son is also 33. Jesus on the cross at 33, the cross throughout time to symbolize the sun and the seasons, the 4 seasons. A cross divides an area into 4 sections. The Council of Nicaea, 325 AD, to help all of the Christians come together, because half of Christianity at that point was worshiping the Son, and the other half was believing that the Son was the Son of God who had come to earth and died on the, that story. So the Council of Nicaea tried to bring everybody together. Things to think about. There's something on TMZ worth checking out. TMZ. Chris Cornell's... You know what's funny about Chris Cornell? The camera's not on me anymore. Hold on. Let me get my camera back up here. I think this is funny that... I feel like this is one of those organic things here, that Chris Cornell's in here. Where's my camera? Here we go. You see what's on here? Chris Cornell's face. This was a fellow truth seeker, sent me this in the mail. He made this for me after the death of Chris Cornell. Really appreciate it. Him and I were both fellow Chris Cornell fans. And how strange that I got this on today, and then that's in the headlines. If you missed my work on the death of Chris Cornell, his wife was tight with those riddles. It was very interesting. What am I supposed to see on TMZ? I don't think that's what you guys were talking about, though. O.J. Simpson killer gynecologist. Here's the scariest thing we've seen this Halloween. Oh, somebody... Oh, I see. O.J. Simpson dressed up as a gynecologist. Okay. See, this is just a sick joke, you guys, because O.J. Simpson's actually like a lot like Donald Trump, except for he got shamed in the media. But for you younger people, you probably don't remember this, but during the O.J. Simpson murder trial, which was a complete hoax, all for the racial shaming and divisive propaganda, it came out that his wife had made a comment that O.J. came up to her at a party and grabbed her by the crotch and said he could do what he wanted because she was his wife or something like that. But notice, Donald Trump got caught on the bus with Billy Bush saying that he could grab women by the pussy, and he became the president of the United States, and nobody ever brings it up. I don't know if that's what you guys are talking about either, but I'm sure there's a deeper riddle to that. I'll save it for later. There's always later. Oh, boy. Let's see. So the buffering's screwing with everybody, huh? So I see people saying that they're having trouble with the buffering. A man in a Michael Myers mask shot a man 3 times and a girl 1 time, huh? Remember, the Michael Myers movie just released on a date with 67 numerology. Michael Myers equals 67. Killer equals 67. Like we were just talking about with Willie Horton, who's 67 years old right now. And notice what else is up with Michael Myers. Here, let me get rid of the Sumerian gematria. Notice what else is up with Michael Myers. The 59 and 193. Look at what happens when I type in serial killer. Serial killer 59 and 193. Don't forget 193 is the 44th prime. The big kill number. Kill equals 44. Serial even equals 44. And with regards to the 59 in Jewish gematria, kill's also 59. So you see how they decked out the name Michael Myers? Very cleverly thought out. And they released the movie. If you missed my video on why they released that film that day and how it synced up with the filming beginning January 13th, the date January 13th is when they began filming that movie. That date can be written 13/1, like 131. Also, think about Halloween, 10/31, 10/31. So, Michael Myers got all sorts of things going on. Okay, Jan John, I'm missing your comment. Let me go back up. Where's the next one? Can you look into African-American NHL player Evander Kane reportedly owing his girlfriend $3 million for her 3rd abortion? It looks like you already nailed it, man. His name equals 33, 3 million, 3rd abortion. I'm sure there's even more. His name's Kane. No, what's that make you think of? So this is today's news. Seems like we're getting all sorts of racial shaming propaganda right now at this moment. August 2nd, he's 27 years old, the ritual number. Here, let's see. What's August 2nd to today? Today, the day of the news. So it's 91 days after his birthday, or a span of 92 days. And what did you just say? I saw something in your comment about 13. Because 91's the 13th triangular number. So 91's the 13th triangular number. The name Cain equals 13. It looks like this is what it's about. When you add 1 through 13, it equals 91. And there's probably even more. It's probably synced up with their NHL season and some other stuff I don't know right now. White nurse got fired for dressing as Beyonce for Halloween, huh? I'm sorry about the ads, Sarah. I think I'm going to get rid of these ads. Yeah. Thanks, Jules. All right, you guys, I'm going to end this since you guys are saying it's having all these glitches and buffering. I'm going to see how it uploaded. Hopefully it's clear. But that's a bummer. All right, True Seeker, until next time.